I think in years past, there's a lot of expectations and assumptions being made in our room, and rightfully so, they've earned it. But making plays was normal, and we didn't really celebrate them well. And I think that just in general, we've talked about that. And again, Brandon's one of those guys that has encouraged that, along with Meck, along with Bryson, along with Carnell, and the leadership in the room has been great. Seeing JB, celebrate a great route and celebrate somebody else's great route and great production. It's been a lot of fun. So, but to say that, I say that because Brandon's part of that mindset change and mindset enhancement, I should say, and the leadership group as a whole in the room really want to see more of that day to day.
That dynamic you're talking about in general. A couple years ago, Jim Knowles said that the receivers were so far ahead of the corners that it almost made it hard to do some evaluations with the corners. Obviously, that dynamic, I would think, would have changed.
That's changed.
The talent and experience of these corners. How is that affecting your receivers?
Oh, it's great. Its competition's even more awesome. Like the chippiness, the chirping, the fun, it's even heightened because, like you said, at one point, it wasn't that way. So it's a lot of fun. They win, we win. It's back and forth. It's a heavyweight, fight daily, and it's a lot of fun. And it's pretty cool because when guys do come visit as recruits, they see it, and that's one of the first things they say is the chippiness, the competitiveness is really different. So we're having a lot of fun with it. It's been a fun first 4 days.
Brian, who won it today? Camp or bowl practice, it seemed like people were pretty complimentary of the way Bryson Rogers was coming along, and obviously he hopped in the transfer portal and comes back. What are those conversations like when he goes into the portal, and then what are the conversations like when he ultimately decides to leave the portal and come back?
Yeah, I think college football is different, and ideologies and understandings and have changed, and I think that the portal is a variable, and I would say that not him in particular, but I wouldn't say everyone doesn't really know how to handle it properly. You see it currently. It's a variable that's new, and how to handle it. There's not a transcript on how to handle that variable. So guys just try to do what they think is right. That's all they're really trying to do. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but he was trying to do the same. And I think at the end of the day, he realized he may have made the wrong decision, and we connected on it. We talked about it, and it was a great opportunity to right a wrong. And obviously, we're very glad he's here. I've always believed in him. We believe in him, and he believes in himself. And that's part of just trying to understand what's my path, right? So. But yeah, it's been great. Steps have been made. He's growing, but he's nowhere near where he knows he's capable of being.
And what are you just early impressions of Jeremiah since he's been here last year?
I love the way he lives. I love the way he approaches things. I love the questions he asks. I love the way he makes mistakes and then corrects mistakes. It's very veteran-like. There's so much ball he has to learn. Like, he literally does things that are good. I'm like, do you know why that worked? He goes, Coach, I have no freaking idea. So, I'm trying to teach him all of that, why it worked. So then, the consistency at which it works just goes through the roof. And so, but I'm very, excited and proud of the conversations we're currently having, and I'm excited for them to keep going.
Brian, what's it been like so far for you working with Chip Kelly?
Oh, I love working with Chip. Chip is, I love talking ball. I love the viewpoints. I love the veteran that he has, and I love all of it. I think that early on, the biggest impact, feeling perspective, I think in the run game has been awesome, and then off of the run game, some of the actions or relief throws or all that kind of stuff. I love where it's at. I love working with him, and he's a great person to be around.
How has your role changed, just going from being, offensive coordinator last year to now, having Chip in here?
I would say that I sleep a little better. All right. No, it's really a great combo because, we're doing a lot as a group. It's not just Chip and I. So, but obviously Chip has an image and a view on things that I never had. So to have that experience and to have that viewpoint, I'm just trying to absorb as much as I can, but then also highlight some things that we've really done a good job of and make sure those, nothing's really changing. We're just trying to enhance. We're not changing, we're enhancing. So where the things fit is perfect. I think, the rest of the dynamics I'm sure Chip can talk about, but it's been awesome. So I'm excited about it.
Brian, so when you talk about, we talked to Emeka and he was talking about moving from slot to outside. Mm-hmm. You know how good he's been in the slot. Is that a difficult move for you guys as coaches to know how good a guy is at one spot, but know that maybe for his long-term future and the room that maybe he should move outside and inside? And
no, I wouldn't say it's anything on his future because he's capable of doing whatever you want to get done, but I'd say that it says more about the room. I think it's the growth of, Brandon and the growth of Bryson that's really, allowing my mind to say, hey, Mech, be prepared. You're going to move around a lot. You're going to come out of that slot. You're going to be outside. We're going to create mismatches out there. I mean, his ability to move around is critical. But I would say between Mech and between Carnell Tate's ability to move around a lot is going to provide a lot of flexibility for our room and those top 6-7 guys that are really doing a good job right now.
What's progress look like this spring for Emeka? Because it's one of those things I'm sure where you guys balance how much work does he need versus how much does he actually.
Yeah, heavy emphasis on what work he needs versus anything else. I rely on him. We have great dialogue back and forth. It's a two-way conversation. And frankly, there's gonna be times where like, hey, Mech, what do you want to do today? You want to go outside? You want to go inside? I don't care. So we're not there yet. We will be there, but it's just more about when the room is ready to start mixing things up.
Brian, rotation like you have from Emeka, he's one of those guys, right? All the time, top 3, top 4, whatever. And Carnell seems like he might comfortably be in that conversation. Is there anyone else that you have in your room? Like, I know this guy's in my main 3, my main 4.
I would say there's guys. I make sure I bring in guys that are able to do all, but I have not asked them to yet. So the only guys that in our room currently have asked to do that has been Mecca and Carnell. And those are probably the 2 guys that I would think heavily on moving around a lot. I'm not putting that on anybody else right now. I'm not saying they can't, but at this point, having 2 guys be able to swing, you probably don't need much more than that. I need guys being experts at what they're good at, so it helps the offense. Don't be great at everything, be an expert at something, and we can use that to our advantage.
Do you think your room this year is different? Like maybe guys who are more situational?
CJ.
The room's always different, frankly. I mean, from 2018, and then 19, and through COVID, and those guys, and then the depth of those guys, and then where Mech and Marvin and those guys were as freshmen compared, it's always different. And I expect this one to be different again. Not sure at what level yet.
Brian, you mentioned
Last question
the
right here.
relationship between the DB room and your wide receiver room, especially on the back and forth. I'm curious. DB room has a leader just like you. Played at Ohio State, has NFL experience. I'm curious about how you've seen Tim kind of build the cornerbacks room, especially on the recruiting side, the amount of success he has, and maybe kind of the effect of your recruiting, how that's kind of enhanced DB recruiting for you.
He would probably know more for that question than I would, but I would say that, we obviously feed off each other, right? I mean, it really is a team sport, and we can't do it without them, and they can't do it without us, and we can't do it without the quarterback, and we can't do it without the O-line. So the more that can seep into other positions, and we work as a team and operate as a team and identify we're a team, the healthier we are. And we think that, already, but I would say me and Tim have really, met on that, talked about it. Like, we talk about technique, we talk about recruiting, we do all that togetger. And not at a crazy level, but definitely more than I have in the past. So I love working with OG. I mean, he's awesome. He's got a great perspective. And we definitely feed off each other in practice. And then maybe while building our rooms, we've done the same.